Have you ever looked upon something, considered it very carefully, then thought, yeah, best not? It's the way that I feel every time I look at the outside world through the slits between the planks of wood that comprise the fruit crate that I live in. I then return to my laptop and continue producing videos for a YouTube channel no one watches. However, not for no reason do I bring this up. There are 3 games in the FF series that I've never touched, and not just because I didn't own a PS2, because my colleague has a PS2 and FF10 and 12, and I have a PS3, so I could technically have bought the HD remaster. But do you know what? I never have. I've watched my colleague play the first hour or so of FF10, during which time the level up system was unlocked and we had a small premonition in which we both died alone and unloved, then turned the game off. FF10 has really nice music, I'll give it that. I bought the piano collection version and listened to it quite frequently. And FF12 is set in Ivalice again, which is my favourite Final Fantasy setting, and FF10 too has characters in it. Do you see what I'm doing here? I'm dancing around the issue. It's great fun. Look at me dance. Alright, fine. Why don't I play these ones? I don't know. There, I said it. Happy? No? Fine, let's try to figure it out. Final Fantasy X. According to the good folks over at FF Wiki, FF10 follows the story of Tidus and Yuna. This much I knew as both were in the promo art. Look at what I'm saying, since when has being in the promo art mattered even slightly? However, I then scroll down to the plot synopsis and I feel myself starting to squirm. Then I scroll through the 3rd successive page of synopsis and feel myself losing the will to live. I think then that the reason I don't want to play FF10 is the same reason 8 is currently gathering dust in my PSP, because the plot is so bloody-mindedly mad that I feel I'm committing to a correspondence course rather than a game that I could potentially enjoy. Final Fantasy X to Midnight. I flicked onto the page for this one and I had to close it again after I saw the page after page on the sodding battle system alone. I then scrolled down a bit more and found a picture of what passed for Riku's everyday attire and moved on. Final Fantasy Twix. This one I'm a bit more interested in because it doesn't look quite so much like it escaped from a future Rainbow Circus and I might be able to play it without burning my eyes. The story looks a bit more coherent this time round, but I had to scroll a worryingly long way to get to it. A bit of backtracking showed me the extent of the gameplay systems. I then had to go refill my glass of water because I had a headache. I think I've pinned it down. It's not that I don't want to play the games at all, it's just I'm scared. There's so much stuff waiting to burst free from that little plastic box that I feel like Pandora, only a bit less shit at following orders. But I think I've got the answer. Next time you're developing a Final Fantasy game, Square, why don't you set yourself a limit on the number of ideas that you put in? That way the developers won't be able to put everything they say into the game next time you motivate them by lacing the water cooler with cocaine.